Yeah, don't drive, thanks. So this is what happens here. Let's compare that with private charity. Okay? Let's compare that with private charity. First, individuals and localized charitable groups can focus on and be attuned to the specific and diverse needs of different people. They're adaptive, they're flexible. Okay. Often people get interested in these things because of something that's befallen a family member or a friend. Or they have read something and it's aroused a sense of social caring to a specific group or part of the society. It's far more nuanced. It's far more adaptive in this way. It's far more focused not on individuals as, excuse me, blind groups of people, the poor, you know, the homeless. Well, what does the poor and the homeless means? I mean, those are individuals. And when it's more guided by individuals or localized, flexible private groups, they can be more attuned to and adaptive and receptive on the specific needs and circumstances of individuals or smaller groups that have certain common characteristics, rather than these one-size-fits-all. In addition, tend to be far more personalized on actual or real people. Someone has had a tragedy in their family. Perhaps a child came down with some terrible and perhaps incurable disease. And they know the hardship and the pain that perhaps had to be gone through by themselves and other family members when they saw a loved one going through great pain or agony, perhaps dying. And precisely because they had experienced that, and they have this empathetic sense for other families, other individuals passing through the same tragedy, they would be concerned in offering a helping hand, a sense of, well, that's another person who I know what they went through. Let me try to help them. To appreciate each individual, or each family, or each particular type of illness, and what it means to the people who are affected by it. The people who are called to charity usually don't do this. I care for humanity. Well, you can care for humanity, but humanity is an empty term. It's being concerned and developing a concern for specific individual human beings, and to not lose sight of the fact that they are human beings. And then finally, more responsive incentives to solve such social problems. Why? Funding is voluntary. Okay, funding is voluntary. If you want to run a charity, set up a charity, make a charity grow, you have to persuade other members of the society that the type of good works that you're proposing to do is deserving of their financial support, or their support in time as well, perhaps. You must persuade them that the strategies, the approach, the methods that you're suggesting to help solve this social problem, to help those specific people with those types of needs and handicaps and hardships, will be handled in a way that spends the donor's money wisely. Otherwise, they can't expect to get the funding. Result or outcome focused. Result or outcome focused. In the bureaucracy, what matters is that you follow the rules. The person came in, he filled out the form, you checked the form, you found eligibility or not, you said yes, you said no, a check is cut or a service is provided. End of story. Doesn't matter. Just see that the bureaucratic rules are followed and you've done your job. Precisely because of the voluntary nature of the giving, those who work in the organization, who manage and head the organization, have to be concerned not with telling the donors, well, you know, we had that, anybody who seemed eligible fill out a form. See how many forms they filled out? No, the donor's not concerned with that. Fine, they filled out a form. Did you solve the problem? Did you help make it better? Did you do something that you said was going to assist in improving the conditions of some people in society? How are people better fed? Are there people who are homeless who have a roof over their head? Are there some people who were suffering from illiteracy? Do you help educate them in better reading and writing? People who are unskilled, how are they going to become productive enough for a decent paying job? For a decent paying job. People are dozing off. Help them stay awake. But they filled out a paper that said they wouldn't doze off. Well, but are they dozing off? Okay. Okay. But they have to be results oriented. Let me give an example. For 5 years, I was the president of a nonprofit foundation. Mr. Lowe mentioned that in his introduction, the Foundation for Economic Education. It's actually one of the oldest free market-oriented educational organizations in the United States, probably the oldest, founded in 1946. And I had to raise money for the 5 years I was president. Every day I had to be calling people. I often had to travel to meet existing or prospective donors. I had to persuade them either to keep giving the same money, or maybe hopefully to increase their annual donations, or to attract new supporters. And how did I do this? I had to persuade those people who did not have to give the money. It's their money. They can either donate it or not. I had to persuade them that the purpose for which I was asking money was a good and worthwhile, that it represented values that they shared and would like to cultivate and foster among young people. Second, I then had to demonstrate to them that we spent their money wisely. Look here, this is what our overhead was, this is how much actually went for outreach, publications, seminars, programs. So that overhead was only a small percentage, and actual program to do the educational work that we've asked you to support us is where the bulk of the money went. Right? No wastage in overhead. You know, management costs. And that it reached the people who we were proposing to reach, either adults or students. We also did adult programs on economic themes and topics. And that these are the groups we were able to reach out to. This is the type of things that were talked about or written about. These are the responses as measured or calculated or estimated in various ways of the response of the people who read the things we published or participated in the seminars that we put on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Results. It's worth you giving some of your hard-earned money. We're going to manage your money wisely and efficiently in a business-like fashion.